Welcome to Section 3, Scope Evaluation Tools developed by the Construction Industry Institute, or CII. Click Begin to get started. How often do your projects suffer from inadequate scope definition? Some telltale signs of this are the cost and schedule overruns that happen due to change orders. Do you have the right tools to support scope development and improve the odds of project success? CII has identified inadequate front-end planning, FEP, as a substantial contributor to poor project performance. To combat this, they teamed with industry experts to develop the Project Definition Rating Index, or PDRI. The PDRI is a powerful, easy-to-use tool for measuring the degree of scope development throughout front-end planning. In this section, you will learn the CII PDRI Scope Evaluation Tool and Scope Development Methodologies on different types of built environment projects, how to use the CII PDRI tool to identify gaps and optimize scope coverage, and how to implement scope revisions in order to achieve an accurate and mature project scope. You can use the PDRI tool to improve the operational performance of your projects while ensuring stakeholder requirements and expectations are understood. You will also be able to better identify project gaps, clarify processes, and facilitate communication and collaboration between project entities. PDRI is intended to be used throughout the front-end planning phases, and continued stakeholder input is critical. The Project Definition Rating Index, or PDRI, is a useful tool that identifies and describes each critical element in a scope definition package. It allows project managers to quickly identify project risk factors relating to desired outcomes for cost, schedule, and operating performance. Using the PDRI tool, teams can capture mitigation action items and evaluate the completeness of scope definition at any point leading up to the detailed design and construction phase. Click here to download a PDF. The PDRI tool is best used to promote adequate front-end planning, or FEP. As you have previously learned, front-end planning allows for fewer scope changes, increased probability of project success, improved operational performance, increased alignment of project expectations, and better identification and definition of risks. The PDRI is an Excel-based macro tool that is easy to use and navigate. Click each tip to learn more. PDRI requires committed stakeholder engagement and alignment in order to be successful. By incorporating key stakeholders into this process, each party's interests are represented, which reduces risk downstream. This tool should be used to maintain continuity in the FEP process when handing over the project to different entities. The PDRI tool works best in teams that collaborate. If feasible, a neutral facilitator that is familiar with the tool and process should help leverage each team member's skill set. Project managers can use the tool to monitor and organize the front-end planning process for built environment projects. CII has developed 6 PDRI tools for projects of different types, sizes, and complexities. Each of the built environment project types shown here has a tool tailored specifically to it. Click each icon to learn more. The Matters component of the tool consists of feed maturity and feed accuracy. Click each one to learn more. This diagram provides a clear overview of the components of the latest iteration of the tool. The new tool contains the original 70 PDRI elements, but also identifies the PDRI's 46 feed maturity elements and has an additional 27 feed accuracy factors. The characteristics of projects that should leverage the PDRI Matters tool are shown here. These projects are defined as capital projects that provide transportation, transmission, distribution, collection, or other capabilities supporting commerce and the interaction between goods, services, and people. These projects generally cover a wide geographical area and affect multiple jurisdictions and stakeholder groups. Modes of transportation, such as highways and railways, are just one example. Small industrial projects are defined as costing less than $10 million and that take 3 to 6 months to complete. The tool also takes complexity into consideration. This tool is comprised of 41 scope definition elements. The tool was tested on projects to assess its applicability to the industry. The testing revealed that projects with a PDRI score below 300 outperformed projects with a score above 300 across cost, schedule, and change orders. Building projects include offices, schools, banks, apartments, hotels, and shopping malls. The PDRI for buildings contains 64 scope definition elements that need to be evaluated and determined by the project team. CII found that projects with a well-defined scope of work, meaning they have a score below 200, perform better than projects with a score above 200 across all 3 metrics: cost, schedule, and change orders. Small infrastructure projects are defined as those that cost less than $20 million, are completed within 6 to 12 months, and have less complexity than larger infrastructure projects. Examples of these projects include pipelines, open channels, and transmission lines. The tool was tested on projects to assess its applicability to the industry. The testing showed projects with a PDRI score below 300 outperforming projects with a score above 300 across cost, schedule, and change orders. Due to the added risks of mining projects, CII developed a mining PDRI tool consisting of 180 elements divided into 4 sections and 18 subsequent categories. It contains new elements tailored to the mining industry, but also a subset of original elements found across the other PDRI tools. The tool was tested on projects to assess its applicability to the industry. The testing showed projects with a PDRI score below 200 outperforming projects with a score above 200 across cost and schedule. The same results can be seen for change performance of projects with PDRI scores below and above 150. Let's take a moment to see what you've learned. The PDRI is a hierarchical composition that breaks down into subcategories and elements. The three main sections are basis of project decision, basis of design, and execution approach. Click on each of the three sections in the diagram to learn more. These three main sections are subdivided into categories. Categories are then further broken up into elements. Each element is graded on a 0 to 5 scale, with 0 denoting an element that is not applicable to the project. A score of 1 implies a complete definition, and a score of 5 denotes an incomplete or poor definition, as indicated by the accompanying legend. High-level examples of elements include future expansion considerations and technology which has been identified and risk assessed and which will be used in the project. Click here to download a PDF. It is important to tailor the PDRI tools for your specific project. This may mean using a hybrid approach or using a combination of the PDRI tools on a project. Many industrial facilities, such as chemical plants or refineries, require various types of buildings to support the operations and maintenance effort. These may include administration buildings, warehouses, or training centers. Let's take a look at the Building PDRI tool. There are two score sheets provided for this specific PDRI tool. The first is an unweighted checklist. This sheet is there to prevent bias when determining a specific score. The second is the sheet with the weighted values and enables professionals to assess the level of scope throughout the FEP process using the 1,000-point scale. Project professionals should use the PDRI tool when evaluating a project's scope definition package. The tool should be tailored to suit the project's specific needs. It is recommended to use the tool at 3 junctures during FEP. A 4th juncture can be added for complex projects as required. The process should be modified for the PDRI tools for small industrial and infrastructure projects. Due to their size and complexity, the tool should be used at multiple points during the front-end planning phase. To see the typical PDRI score at each of the FEP stages, click on each arrow to learn more. Click to download a PDF to learn more about the assessment focus points. Let's go through PDRI's step-by-step process. When following the steps given in the accompanying diagram, the team must assess and discuss each element in the tool collaboratively. The team can leverage CII's downloadable Excel spreadsheet to record the scores in their allocated columns. The Excel spreadsheet has a model built in to calculate the project PDRI score upon completion. When a project team completes the 6-step process, they will receive a PDRI score. The score will highlight areas for further improvement. The onus is on professionals to develop an action plan and take corrective actions on items that need improvement. Click to download the PDF for information on each of the 6 steps. While project teams should be aiming for low PDRI scores, project managers should not compromise the process while doing so. Professionals should try to remove any bias when defining elements. A low PDRI score represents a project definition package that is well defined. This normally corresponds to an increased probability of project success. The chart shown on your screen compares project performance for a sample of 108 building projects worth $2.3 billion using a 200-point PDRI score cutoff. This data shows the mean performance for the projects versus execution estimate for design and construction, and the absolute value of changes as a percentage of total project cost. The analysis of these projects showed a strong correlation between low PDRI scores, less than 200, and high project success relating to cost and schedule. It is therefore important to leverage this tool to identify gaps and optimize scope coverage. Let's take a moment to see what you've learned. You have now completed the Scope Evaluation Tools developed by the Construction Industry Institute, or CII, module. In the next section, you will learn about effective scope management throughout the project lifecycle, along with scope governance structures. See you soon.